This conference will now be recorded.
You're live.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Town of Auburn, Massachusetts Board of Health meeting. Today is February 10th and we are doing a hybrid public meeting. Anybody who is wishing to join this meeting can join in person, of course, or remote, and join by phone at 1-224-501-3412 with access code 236-529-341, and join by computer at the gotomeeting.com with the same access code. This is all listed on the auburnmass.gov site. And I'd like to now call to order and take a motion to open the meeting. Motion to open the meeting.
I make a motion to open the meeting.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. State your name.
Kara Westerman.
Carolyn Griffin. Aye. Second aye. All right. So.
And then if you just want to call up.
Okay, and then we have members of the Board of Health here. I'd like to, if you could confirm that you're here when I call your name. Darlene Coyle.
Here.
Jordan Brusso.
Here.
Tim Pratt.
Here.
And Amy Contois.
Here.
Thank you. All right. And here arrives.
Yes, sorry.
No worries. Our chair, Aaron Cotter.
Well, thank you. Here. I apologize for being late. My apologies.
Thank you. She was just opening the meeting
Yeah.
Perfect.
and
All right. Sounds
we're
good.
just getting started.
All right, so we're open. We're official.
Yes, we're open and official.
Perfect. All right.
So we have a set of minutes in your packet. We have the December 9th minutes. So we'll be looking at those.
December
16.
9th. I have 16.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It says December 16th. Let's check that. I make a error on my...
Can you check?
You mean on the 9th or the 16th?
Let's see.
Tim prepared the minutes, so he's going to double check
All
what
right,
night
so-
we got.
So we'll wait on that. Agenda items. We have a hearing at 6 o'clock. We have, so we actually have a few hearings, which is the couple of rabies vaccinations. So 6 o'clock. So I'd entertain a motion to open the hearing for 6 o'clock.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to open the hearing for 6 o'clock for Judith Burke at 4 Rock Ave for Eli.
And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
Ms. Griffin?
Aye.
Eric Otterson, aye. Hearing is open.
We'll do that Ms. Contois here.
Yep.
Hi.
Excellent. Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we do have a rabies exemption request letter from Eli's primary veterinarian. Hillside Veterinary Clinic submitted this rabies exemption on the owner's behalf. So Eli is a senior terrier owned in town by Judith Burke at 4 Rock Ave. Eli has a consistent licensing and vaccine history in town. The last rabies vaccine expired on August 11th of 2024. He's a senior dog with many health conditions, including ongoing colitis issues, inflammatory conditions, heart murmur, and he's heavily medicated. So right now he's going to his regular vet every 3 weeks for follow-ups, checkups on his condition, updating any medications. So it is the veterinarian's opinion that because of those health conditions, it's not safe to give him any more vaccines at this point.
Anyone have any questions?
No.
No? Hearing, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the request signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
And Ms. Griffin?
Aye.
Eric Otterson, aye. And the exemption is granted. and we will close that hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Carolyn Griffin, aye.
And Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
And Eric Goddison, aye. Hearing is now closed. And next one, we have another rabies hearing for Petunia.
I'd like to make a motion to open the hearing for the rabies hearing for Walter and Stuart Patricia Carby at 39 Potter Road for their pet Petunia.
And I second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
Ms. Griffin?
Aye.
Eric Goddison, aye. Hearing is now open.
Thank you. So the second rabies exemption request we have is for Petunia. Petunia is a younger dog, just under 2 years old, who's owned in town. The owner is present, Patricia Carby. So Petunia received vaccines right around the age of 6 months old that caused an extreme reaction that ended up with her hospitalized for several days and almost losing her life. So she was found to have a condition called steroid-responsive meningitis arteritis. She's receiving ongoing treatment for that. Because of the reaction that she had and the severity of it, the veterinarians are recommending no future vaccines for her. And at this time, I've spoken with her regular vet, so she's seen beyond the regularly recommended wellness visits. The vets did say they're very responsible owners. They're following all of their recommendations, limiting Petunia's contact with other dogs, so avoiding places like doggy daycares, dog parks, things where she might interact with other dogs. Leash walks only for Petunia. They have a fenced-in backyard, but they don't allow her outside without supervision. She is on weekly medications as well, and it's an ongoing medical condition that they're managing right now.
Gotcha. Any questions? No?
Feel sad for Petunia.
Thank you.
She do.
She's a little cutie. We
Yeah.
never expected this would ever happen, ever.
Oh.
All because we were doing the right things, and they vaccinated two vaccines on the same day. She was just too young to be able to tolerate. They think, but hindsight's always 20/20. So, but it's limited her life, but we make up for it, trust me. So, she's a very spoiled little girl, but I'm probably the overprotective mother then. So, but I can't help it, so,
Great.
but thank you very much, Amy, so.
So all those in favor of approving the request signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
Carolyn Griffin?
Aye.
Eric Goddison, aye. So granted. And make a motion to close the hearing.
Make a motion to close the hearing for the rabies vaccination exemption for Petunia.
And all those signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Petunia
Ms.
thinks
Griffin?
she too.
And Eric Goddison, aye. Hearing's closed. It's been
May I-
granted. Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Is this an annual, would this have to be revisited next year, or in 5 years, or in?
I mean, I don't think so. If we have, I mean, it's not going to change. So I
No,
would
I
just
mean-
make it a,
Yeah, my recommendation would be just a lifelong exemption, and then
Yeah.
obviously continue the advisement given by your veterinarians. If at any point they think maybe she can handle a vaccine, that's something for you to discuss with them.
Okay,
But obviously, just taking into consideration, her risks.
okay, thank you. They believe this is going to be a lifelong condition for her, unfortunately, so. But thank you so much for your
welcome.
time.
Take care.
Of course.
I can leave now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a hearing for 18 Carroll Street, unfit for human habitation. We'll make a motion to open the hearing.
Motion to open the hearing for 18 Carroll Street on fit for human habitation declaration.
And I will second that motion, and all those in favor fit signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
Eric Goddison, aye, and Carolyn Griffin.
Aye.
And the hearing is now open.
Thank you. So for 18 Carroll Street, the Health Department was contacted by first responders regarding some concerns at this property. They had been called to the property several times, and the Health Department did meet the occupants, and they were in need of services. Jordan and myself have been working with the Carrolls. However, the living conditions that they had have kind of caused a condition that we had to take a look at for safety of the occupants. So they didn't have a working furnace, so they didn't have heat. They were using space heaters, and they had no working smoke or carbon monoxide detectors, some blocked egresses. So we had, in working with the fire department, we were able to relocate them while they worked towards trying to get back into housing. They have received some services through Elder Services, and both parties do have some caseworkers that are working on their behalf. However, the declaration was made by myself for unfit for human habitation, and we continue to work with the family for more permanent housing, and making sure that they can receive any services that they qualify for. So this determination was made in December, and nobody is currently living in the home. But the declaration does come to the board to determine if you have any questions about the condition. I did speak with Mrs. Carroll to let her know about the hearing, and she didn't have any concerns. No objections, I should say.
All right, any board members have any questions, concerns? No? Hearing, seeing none, then I would make a motion to declare 18 Carroll unfit for human habitation until all needs are met.
And we'll continue
To
to
your
work with
satisfaction?
the family.
Yeah.
Just-
Make a motion for 18 Carroll Street to uphold the unfit for human habitation declaration.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
And Ms. Griffin?
Aye.
And Eric Otterson, aye.
Thank you.
And next one, again, unfit for human habitation, 610. It's a hearing for 47 Washington Street, unit number 7. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to open the hearing for 47 Washington Street, Unit 7, unfit for human habitation declaration.
I will second that. And all those in favor of opening the hearing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, I have to call you Ms. Westerman.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Griffin.
Aye.
Eric Otterson, aye, and the hearing is now open.
Thank you. So we have 47 Washington Street, Unit 7 is a mobile home in Whispering Pines. And again, I was called by first responders for concern of living conditions at this home. Again, unfortunately, no heat. Use of space heaters next to areas where people were sleeping. No water service to the dwelling, no working smoke or carbon monoxide detectors in blocked egresses. It's a concerning situation for the occupants. The occupants did have some family and some friend support system, so they were able to relocate. The mobile home remains vacant, nobody's living there, and the owners and the owner's agent, also family members, are working towards getting I believe the heat has been restored. They're working on getting the water restored and clearing the mobile home out. And we have attempted to connect the occupant with some services. I know they're working with a caseworker.
All right.
Do you have any answer
I
to
have
questions?
a question. So there's children's things there, so were there children in the home?
There were, yeah, 2
And
minors.
so, like, does DCF get involved in a case like this?
So, first responders,
Because they're mandated before.
first responders were present, and they did assist me. And I know that referrals are made as needed.
Any board members have any questions? Other questions, concerns? No? So all those in favor of the recommendation for 47 Washington Street, unit number 7, unfit for human habitation. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to declare 47 Washington Street, Unit 7 unfit for human habitation.
All right, now I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
Ms. Greffen?
Aye.
Eric Carlson, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
And then I'll make a motion to, entertain a motion for closing the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing at 47 Washington Street, Unit 7.
And all those in favor of closing the hearing signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
Ms. Griffin?
Aye.
And Eric Carlson, aye. Hearing is now closed. Next, we have a update for the South Central Mass Partnership for Public Health.
Thank you. So, you may recall back in, I think it was July, summertime, August, the board voted to endorse our regional agreement. So this is a public health excellence grant that Auburn has been a part of for the past 3 years. I think we're going on 4 now. And this is something that the state had put forth after COVID to help health departments. We do have a regional inspector and a regional health coordinator that provide assistance to the town. The reason that this is coming before you is because one of the towns had originally gotten out of the partnership, and so now they're coming back in. So we have to go through the formal vote to do that again. So it's the same intermunicipal agreement, the IMA. However, it's adding back in Dudley. So we have an amendment to the actual IMA. So that is called the First Amendment to the South Central Massachusetts Partnership for Public Health for the Public Health Excellence for Shared Services Grant. So this would, if the board is comfortable with that, again, nothing is changing for us. It's simply voting to endorse the town of Dudley Board of Health to come back into the IMA.
We have to sign up on that.
Yeah, so if you could, if you could have somebody read that, that would be wonderful.
All right. So Public Health Excellence Shared Service Grant, the First Amendment to the South Central Massachusetts Partnership for Public Health, intermunicipal agent agreement for the Public Health Excellence for Shared Services Grant. This grant is for public health supportive services for shared towns in the grant area: Auburn, Burnfield, Oxford, Southbridge, and Webster. Webster being the host community. Central Mass Regional Planning Commission administers in this shared service grant, requesting a vote to approve the First Amendment to the IMA and add Dudley to this grant. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to add Dudley to the IMA, well, to approve the IMA to add Dudley to the SCMPPH.
Is there a second? I'll second that. And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
And Ms. Griffin?
Aye.
And Eric Osmond, aye, and that passes.
Okay, thank you. So, if you are, let's sign up.
Thank you.
And just a note, this is a grant that does not cost us anything. So the state receives grant money, so we're fortunate that we don't have to pay for anything. I think eventually there will be a cost, but we don't have it this time. Thank you so much.
And then, so we have a continuance on the cemetery project, cemetery road project.
Oh, yes, yep. So for the Cemetery Road project, we did have a quote from the town has a consultant that handles our regular municipal landfill. And so I had reached out to the consultant, and they had provided a quote for a review of the project. I did connect with the applicant, the cemetery project applicant, and they have connected recently to identify that they're working through another process, but they are going to be proposing a request to work on the landfill requirement. So that would be trying to clear some of the trees and making it easier to bring fill in. Separate from the cemetery, so they still have to come through us for the cemetery project, but for the actual landfill, there's regulation through Department of Environmental Protection that allows them to do the work. So, as I told you, that would be something that I requested the engineer provide something in writing so that we could confirm that, and then they will continue to work towards what we need for the review of the cemetery project part of it. So I wanted to just provide you an update on that. I haven't received that yet, but I'll keep you updated.
All right. And next we have a discussion on bodywork regulations. Do we have
Yes.
any proposed draft or?
Yeah, so we've gone through several, and actually Jordan has several copies. These are the ones, I think, some of the ones, Webster, Oxford, we have a number of different ones in there. So we have done a review of some of these, and I think the input that I wanted to get from the board is, as far as the regulation, some of them get more specific on what type of activity and the type of massage, and they're called, different practices.
Yeah.
I don't know how the board feels about it. We want to make sure we understand how, if we put something in the regulation of getting too, a focus on what type of activity. I think we're in the position where obviously we want to make sure that health and safety is paramount for putting a regulation in place, but also for the enforcement part of this. So we've had a number of incidents that have come to our health department where we've actually been called. I think Jordan was called in October, and we've had a number of calls that have come in from concerned people for these places of business. And while there's a lot of businesses that are, offering a service and and everything is fine. There are some incidents that we are becoming aware that maybe activity is of concern. So for the actual enforcement of it, we want to work with the police department to make sure that we have, you know, kind of a roadmap and basically a protocol for how we would handle if we have to go out to do enforcement. So just wanted to kind of put that out to the board and just see if we can get your input. Is that, as far as something that you'd be comfortable with that direction?
Yeah, I mean, speak for myself, you know, right now we have nothing, and we need something. So like I do with most things, I just give it to, you know, you're the subject matter expert as far as regulations and health, and you're here all the time. We're not. The police are usually the first calls for this, so that they get, you know, they come up, do what you gotta do, and come to us for whatever we gotta sign and everything, and yeah, don't let us impede your work, so, unless anyone else has any other concerns, but I don't want to belabor this or confuse it or anything, as I know, me personally, it's like, no, get what you need, get what you want, and then we'll,
No, I agree.
yeah.
Yeah. I looked, you know, at all the different ones, and, yeah, I saw what you meant about like the different, I don't even know what most of them
Right,
are. But,
yeah.
but some of them, the only thing that, some of them were a little bit more restrictive than others, like some of them said they had to have an AED in it versus some, you know, and every personnel that worked there needed a physical exam. You know, some of that, like Wakefield, I thought was a good one, but kinda.
Well, I mean, we can approach it kind of, we do reviews on tattoo establishments and artists. Years ago, we did have massage regulations a long time ago, but the state took that over. So this is kind of like, we can approach it that way.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I just don't want to, I guess, for me, these places, they can get very detailed on what type of services. You don't necessarily have to be an expert on all of the
No,
different types of service,
no.
but identifying, you know, is the facility, you know, providing a service, does it need an inspection, does it need a permit, are the people trained, and if something is not going correctly and there's some sort of complaint or any illegal activity,
Right.
how is that process going to be followed?
Right,
So
right.
we're going to kind of,
Focus on that.
yeah, I think that would be the
Yeah.
approach, because we do, we already handle other establishments that we license, you know, so we
Yeah.
can handle it that way.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay,
good.
so we'll bring to you a draft regulation of what we think will work, and get your endorsement or questions or concerns, but I think we're gonna go kind of straightforward. Maybe not something easy to follow.
Yeah, yeah,
But gets the,
Yeah.
gets the job done.
Okay,
sounds good.
all right, thank you. Just want to make sure you're kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
comfortable with that approach.
The proposed 40B project, 16 Perry Place and 0 Athens Street, and there's a memorandum in our packet which talks about noise complaints and also identifying public utilities for both water and sewer. Any of the board members have any questions about that? I don't know if have we seen this before, or maybe this is
Yeah.
the first one that...
So we do have two 40B projects currently that are in process, proposed. So 16 Perry Place started with the ZBA, so they're actually going through the ZBA process currently right now. And these were the comments that we provided on the initial application. So this is, I would expect the ZBA, I think they're on there maybe probably fourth meeting. I expect them to be making a decision on this probably in the next month or so. So I wanted to bring this to your attention for 16 Perry Place. However, the Athens, I think it's 0 Athens Street, that is a new 40B application that we just received within the past, well, January 27th is when the town received it. So this is, I think I sent it to you in your packets. There is a site visit that is scheduled for, I think it is February 18th. I'll have to just double check that. I put in the site visit into your notification. So the board does get a chance to provide comment of whether or not you have any concerns. Typically, the site visit is done when the 40B project is proposed. So it allows anybody, on the town side. Several of our staff members went for the Perry Place and will go for the Athens Street. The goal of these projects from the developer side is to, put in a 40B housing complex. I believe that this one is, I think was 190 units. And this one is served by public water, public sewer. So for the comments, we would probably be similar to something here of what we provided for Perry Place. Obviously, there would be, the health department is called for a number of different things for housing, but these housing projects are typically managed by a property manager. And that honestly is very good for us, because often if we get complaints from the people that live there, and this would be a large development, we would want to be talking with the property manager. So we're a liaison to enforce the state sanitary code. So if there was something that wasn't being done, so say somebody's water's turned off, or the heat's not working, or similar things, and the management company was non-responsive, then we go out to do inspections and issue orders, and then, that role. But for this particular, the initial comments that we would provide, it is served by public water, public sewer, so we wouldn't have to worry about well or septic. We would be dealing with probably some noise complaints, dust complaints, anything as part of construction. But it does allow the board, because you are a regulatory board, if you want to attend that site visit and provide input, you're able to. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention, because now we've received a number of 40B projects. If you may recall, the school, the Mary D and JB, those are redevelopment projects, but those are 40B projects. The goal is to get housing for people in need.
Is Athens Street a brand new street?
Athens Street, no. So
Oh.
Athens Street is off of
Tinker Hill, West Auburn.
Oh, okay,
yeah, so
no.
it's actually off of 20.
Yeah.
So you go up, I think it's Appleton, and it's the first left. So it is a dead-end road.
Okay, yeah.
So there's maybe about 6 or 8 houses on that road. I think what they're proposing is a development at the end of the road. So this one actually shows it well. So Appleton Road, so here's Route 20 Washington Street, Route 20 Washington Street, and then you come up Appleton, this is the dead-end road, and so this is a large parcel at the end that they would be proposing.
How many units would it be?
I think it's 190,
It's a lot.
so it's a big. So obviously, it's an impact
Yeah.
to the neighborhood, to the town, the services. So you have a opportunity if you want to comment. I can certainly provide any comments. So this also is sent out to like all of, police, fire, DPW, the boards and committees, so they all get a chance to comment. But the 40B process goes through the Zoning Board of Appeals for a comprehensive permit.
Yeah. And like JB and the Mary D. Stone, those are more elderly housing.
Yes.
And
Yep.
would these be more family homes?
Yes, this wouldn't be, to my knowledge, this is not age restricted, so this would be open to families. Single people,
Yeah, yeah.
couples, kids with, people with kids.
Right. And then we have a solid waste recycling calendar that we have here. I don't know, it just kind of, it doesn't look like there's any changes, still on Fridays, every other, depending upon the street you live on.
Excellent, yep. This is just the 2025, so we typically make it
Okay.
once update it.
Right. And then is there any, the Maven report? The Maven
Yes.
report, sorry.
So I think I have December, January.
What was this one? Is this 1216? It is supposed to be.
16, so,
Yeah, so this is all right.
so I have, there's just a typo
Okay.
on here.
Gotcha, okay. And moving back to
Thank you.
the approval of the minutes, that is actually for 1216. So, Carolyn, do you have any
Yep.
concerns over the 1216 minutes at all?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, either.
So,
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
motion to accept the 12/16 December 2024 minutes. Carolyn Griffin, aye.
Yeah. Carolyn Griffin, in
Aye.
approval, and Eric Otteson, aye, also approves. Means
Okay,
accepted, so.
we'll just do,
Oh, and I'm sorry, Ms. Westerman?
Abstain.
Abstained. Gotcha,
That was
okay.
it. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you. All right, that concludes the agenda.
Yes, and just one more thing, we do have some COVID test kits. We still have some free test kits in town buildings. And I would like to also let you know, Paula Conway, our clerk, who's been with the Board of Health for, I'm gonna say about 9 years or so.
Oh, wow.
We'd like to thank her for her service, her hard work. She has done a lot for our health department. She's decided to go to DPW and have a position down there. So we wish her the very best.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Paula, if you're watching, thank you so much for everything that you've done for the board and making it easy for us over the years with all your guidance and work. I know, speaking for myself, and
Yeah,
it was very, very appreciative.
yeah.
So
it's
thank you
always
very
good
much.
to work with. Well, at least she's staying with Auburn.
She is,
Yes.
yes.
All right. And it's a motion to adjourn.
Aye. Oh, I make a
You
motion
make
to
a motion.
adjourn.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you do. You do the final.
And is there a second?
Aye.
Second. And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Ms. Westerman?
Aye.
Carolyn Griffin?
Aye.
And Eric Otteson, aye. Meeting is adjourned.